Cholera kills 9 in Rivers State. FCT Minister revokes 568 land allocations over unpaid CFO fees. Rivers PDP crisis deepens as police barricade secretariat. On the foreign scene, South Korea's Yoon avoids fresh questioning after dramatic arrest. Good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Rivers State, where the state government has confirmed the deaths of 9 individuals following a suspected cholera outbreak in 2 local government areas of the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Adaize Ore, disclosed this on Thursday during a press briefing in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. Ore identified the affected local government areas to include Andoni, where 3 deaths were recorded, and Akuku Toru, which has reported 6 fatalities. She stated that the state has recorded 41 suspected cases of cholera across 2 local government areas, while adding that the state government has taken steps to contain the outbreak. The commissioner also explained that although the Ministry of Health has not fully confirmed the deaths resulting from cholera, the symptoms aligned with the surveillance cases definition of the disease. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, has revoked lands belonging to Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, his Basel State counterpart, Diri, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas. In a statement, Lere Olayinka, the minister's media aide, says the withdrawal of the RFO for 568 allottees followed the expiration of a 2-week grace period to pay their CFO bills. He noted that of the 3,273 allottees initially given 2 weeks notice to pay their bills, 568 remain in default after an additional grace period expired on January 15. Also affected are the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Office of the Vice President, Ibrahim Hadija, the former Governor of Cross River State, Ben Ayade, the Senate Leader, Opeyemi Bamidele, the Senate Minority Leader, Abomoro, Minister of State for Labor and Employment in Keruka, Onyejokta, and the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, John Eno. Others are the Chairperson and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, the late Sports Minister, Bala Kaoje, and Regina Akume, the wife of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Back to Rivers State, where there was tension in the capital, Port Harcourt, on Thursday as police barricaded part of the road leading to the People's Democratic Party Secretariat along Aba Road. The development came amid reports that the newly constituted Acting Executive Committee of the party, formed after a court notified the elected executive, planned to take over the Secretariat complex. Although the planned takeover by the Acting Executive Committee was suspended, both sides held separate briefings to assert their authority over the party, signaling that the crisis was far from being resolved. There was also a crowd of party supporters both within and outside the party Secretariat complex. The Aaron Chukwuemeka-led executives of the PDP that was recently restrained from functioning by a high court in Rivers State lamented the multiplicity of court processes, even as the factional chairman appealed to Governor Siminalayi Fubara to allow peace to reign in the party. Ex-servicemen and some widows of fallen heroes in Lagos State have advocated for improved welfare for retired officers and men of the armed forces and their families. Speaking on the sidelines of this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day held at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos, they noted that such improvement will help ensure the servicemen are motivated to put on their best to protect the integrity of the country. The report.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, represented by his deputy Obafemi Hamzat, inspected the guard of honor mounted by personnel of the armed forces. The governor said the state government will continue to support the armed forces and retired servicemen and their families, adding that the state government is partnering with the military to support them for improved welfare. Chairman Nigerian Legion, Lagos State Command, DCG Akim Wolimo, while commenting on the significance of the day, said they feel honored to be remembered by Nigerians, especially for those who laid their lives for their fatherland. The coordinator, wives of late officers, Ilya Oluwaseyi, also used the opportunity to call on the Lagos State government to investigate the execution of the support the state government is providing for them.
This is to keep the memory alive and kind of mark the memory of the fallen heroes and celebrate the armed forces generally. Another way is a way of expressing the gratitude of the living ex-servicemen.
We've just been hearing empty promises without accomplishments, and really the Lagos widows are suffering because if the forces will abandon us, we don't expect the states we have to abandon us.
High point of the day was the laying of wreath, release of pigeons, and 21 gun salutes in honor of the fallen heroes.
As the nation remembers the sacrifice of fallen heroes who paid the ultimate price during their service to the country, retired soldiers in Gombe State have been reminiscing on life after service, while some have held several initiatives geared towards bettering their lives. Others say the government has not done enough to address their welfare needs. Here's Trust TV's Hassan Kohli with more.
These are the retired soldiers gathered at Feltami Stadium to mourn the death of their fallen comrades. Their appearance tells the current life they are living. Despite being grateful for being alive and attending these events, they have something pathetic to share.
We have a problem we are facing when we retire, that is lack of giving us our benefit in times. Sometimes there is some areas they don't give us in times. Up to now we have only government, federal government, some monies. They don't agree to give us. I will tell him that make him take care of retirees soldiers, especially we 63 NA. We are not enjoying his government.
They are not helping the widows because the husbands fought for this nation and now they died leaving the orphans and the widows alone. Now coming to recruitment, they didn't help the widows to recruit their children. We are appealing to the government to help the widows to recruit their children to emulate their father.
At the event, the Legion received numerous donations from the government. However, they are optimistic that the government will improve the welfare of families of fallen heroes.
Because of the problem of the children and the school fees, though the army have taken care of us, but in my own case, they only take 2 children. They are sponsoring them for school. Scholarship, only 2 children for me, but it's not easy because I have 5 children. It's not easy. And now, we are pleading for the government and the Nigerian army. They should look upon us, the widows. We are suffering. It's not easy. Our children, they have finished their school, no job. We try for this Nigerian army for them to help us, but when our children went, they will drop our children. They will take some children.
The retired soldiers believe that improving their welfare will help boost the morale of serving soldiers, which will go a long way in addressing the current security threats across the country. From Gombe, Hassan Kohli reporting for Trust TV.
Talking security now, bandits on Tuesday night shot a medical doctor who was on duty at the Kankara General Hospital in Katsina State. The attackers invaded the hospital, shooting the doctor in the night attack, while one Kamala Suleiman was injured in the knee. The police said both victims are currently receiving medical attention and are in stable condition. Police spokesperson Abubakar Aliyu says the policemen in the area engaged the bandits in a gun shootout, but noted that 3 other persons were kidnapped by the bandits. Now, the spokesperson says efforts are being made to ensure the unhurt rescue of the kidnapped victims as well as the arrest of perpetrators of the attack. To Kwara State, where the police has confirmed that unidentified gunmen in the early hours of Wednesday abducted 5 farmers in the Odoeku community in Eastern local government area of the state. The Kwara State Police Command, while reacting to an inquiry by newsmen in a statement on Thursday, says the 5 farmers who are of northern origin but residents in the Odoeku community were kidnapped in their homes in the wee hours of Wednesday. It was gathered that the gunmen, suspected to be kidnappers, abducted 5 individuals, including a mother and her daughter, in the Odoeku, a community in a single local government area of Kwara State. The assailants, it was reported, stormed the community under the cover of darkness and whisked away their victims to an unidentified location. In other news, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has filed a 5-count charge of unlawful diversion of public funds and money laundering against Jimmy Lawal, a former senior councillor and advisor to former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Lawal was charged alongside Umar Waziri, Yusuf Inua and Solar Life Nigeria Limited for alleged financial misappropriation. The charge was filed by the Assistant Chief Legal Officer of the ICPC on January 15, 2025 at the Federal High Court in Kaduna. In the charge sheet, the ICPC alleges that Jimmy Lawal, sometime in 2018, indirectly took control of the sum of 10 million naira from the Kaduna State Accountant General operational account and paid it into a guaranteed trust bank account of Solar Life Nigeria Limited, an account for which he was the sole signatory. The ICPC also accused Lawal of indirectly taking control of 47.8 million naira from Kaduna State Ministry of Finance from July 2018 and another 7.3 million naira which he moved from the Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service account and later transferred it to Solar Life Nigeria Limited. A major leak at the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, a manifold, has led to a massive fire engulfing the areas around Boguma and Kukuma communities in Rivers State. The fire from the creek leak has been burning for some days, with natives calling on the federal government to put pressure on the NNPC to help clean up the environment and compensate the communities for damages. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still to come, the reintroduction of history back in Nigerian schools curriculum excites teachers and students in Delta State. More on this and many others up ahead. Welcome back to the news. Let's take a second look at our headlines. Cholera kills 9 in Rivers State, according to the government. FCT Minister revokes 568 land allocations over unpaid bills. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, Yola Zone, has vehemently condemned the Nigerian Tax Bill 2024, describing it as a deliberate attempt to dismantle the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. At a press briefing in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, the union comprising Adamawa, Taraba, Borno and Yobe states expressed grave concerns over the bill, which they believe poses a significant threat to the survival of public tertiary education in the country. ASUU Yola Zone alleges that the passing of the bill will severely cripple TED Fund's capacity to support crucial areas such as staff development, research and infrastructural development in Nigerian universities. They emphasize that TED Fund is a lifeline for these institutions, warning that its weakening would have devastating consequences. The union called on the National Assembly and all relevant stakeholders to vigorously oppose the tax bill legislation.
While other nations like Malaysia and Ghana have expressed keen interest in adopting the Nigerian tax fund model for their own educational systems, the federal government is inexplicably moving to dismantle this vital program instead of strengthening its operations and ensuring its long-term sustainability. The union's call to action. We strongly urge the National Assembly, the government, all stakeholders, parents, students, civil society organizations, traditional rulers, religious bodies, and the general public to vehemently oppose this detrimental legislation.
Staying with developments in the education sector, the reintroduction of history in the curriculum of secondary schools has sparked some level of excitement among teachers and students in Delta State. This move follows the federal government's recent directive to include history as a standalone subject in the basic education curriculum. According to some who spoke to Trust TV News, the reintroduction of history will give students a sense of self-identity and understanding of their history. Jonathan Awaye has more.
Teachers who spoke with Trust TV are enthusiastic about the prospect of teaching history again, citing its relevance in shaping young minds and fostering national pride. According to them, history is essential in helping the learners know who they are, where they come from, and where they are going.
I like what the president did by introducing history or historical studies in school so that the children will learn the past and know how to behave and how to talk about the future. So let them continue. They should not, nobody should remove history in the learning curriculum of Nigerian secondary schools because it was very, very of paramount importance. So I like what the president did, and they should continue to learn and write more books on Nigerian history. Because when you read history of a country, you know whether we are progressing or not. And I believe we are progressing because a lot of things that has happened in the past cannot happen in the future again.
Well, the introduction of history in secondary school that they brought back recently is very, very nice because so many students, not just students, they are lacking behind. Because if you have history of what is happening, history is not like information. If you are not informed, you will be deformed. But if you are informed, whatever that is before you, you know how to handle it. And not just that, the history they brought back will help these students to gather whatever they are doing. It will even help them in other subjects, not the history alone.
Students are also eager to learn about their country's rich history, cultural diversity, and the struggles of their forefathers.
Studying history will help us as a student to understand and appreciate our cultural heritage. It will give us an opportunity to have an insight into events, politics, and social issues. It is a welcome development.
It will help us to understand our culture, our different cultures, and our society and history contents.
The reintroduction of history is expected to have a positive impact on the education sector in Delta State by promoting critical thinking, analytical skills, and a deeper understanding of Nigeria's past, present, and future. Jonathan Awaye, Trust TV News, Asaba.
The federal government says it will not allow the proposed telecommunications tariff hike to be more than 60%. This is according to the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani. The minister, while giving the assurance, says the government acknowledges that a tariff increase in the telecom sector is due, but says that the government will not or cannot grant the 100% the telecommunication operators are currently demanding. He says even though the companies are insisting that a 100% increase is what is needed to stabilize the sector, The federal government knows that such a level of increase will be detrimental to the people. The minister also noted that the Nigerian Communications Commission is still working on the tariff increase and is yet to arrive at a particular figure. According to the minister, it is necessary to look at the numbers, the implications any increase will have on the people and the sustainability of the sector for proper balancing. The President of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, has accepted an invitation from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to visit Nigeria this year. The President, who arrived in Abu Dhabi on Sunday as a guest of the UAE President to participate in the Sustainability Week, urged his counterpart to collaborate with Nigeria to strengthen its economy. This was part of a statement released by the State House on Thursday by President Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga. The President extended the invitation to Al Nahyan on Wednesday night during their bilateral talks at the Emirates Palace, Mandarin Oriental in Abu Dhabi. The Sustainability Week is a forum for exchanging ideas to support sustainable development globally and encourage collective action to address challenges such as climate change, water scarcity, and energy crisis. Earlier on Wednesday, the President delivered Nigeria's position on climate issues and other global challenges and congratulated the UAE leader on the successful hosting of the event. Staying with developments on the international scene, South Korea's impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol on Thursday refused to appear for fresh questioning by investigators a day after his dramatic arrest over a failed martial law declaration. The Constitutional Court also opened its second hearing in the trial that will decide whether to uphold Yoon's impeachment following the Dawn raid that made him the country's first ever sitting president to be detained. The former star prosecutor, who faces charges of insurrection, was questioned for hours on Wednesday but exercised his right to remain silent before being moved to a detention center. Investigators from Corruption Investigation Office were to resume Yoon's questioning Thursday afternoon, but his team told them he would not attend. Wednesday's dramatic arrest saw a 100-strong force of police and investigators bypass bus barricades, cut barbed wire, and scale ladders to get inside the compound where Yoon was surrounded by hundreds of guards. Back here in Africa, Tanzania has dismissed a World Health Organization report of a suspected outbreak of the Ebola-like Marburg virus in the northwest of the country. On Tuesday, the Global Health Agency says a total of 9 suspected cases were reported over the last 5 days in the Kagera region, including 8 deaths. But in a statement, Tanzania's Health Minister Janista Magama says after samples were analyzed, all suspected cases were found negative for Marburg virus. She says the country has strengthened its surveillance systems and disease monitoring. The highly infectious disease is similar to Ebola, with symptoms including fever, muscle pains, diarrhea, vomiting, and in some cases, death through extreme blood loss. Talking sports now, Nigerian forward Philip Otell has joined Swiss club FC Basel on loan from UAE Pro League outfit Al Wahda. FC Basel can sign Otell permanently for €3 million at the end of the season. The 25-year-old made 13 appearances for Al Wahda, failing to register a goal or an assist. Otell is looking forward to a fruitful spell at his new club. Reports say Basel sporting director was excited following the striker's signing. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Feel free to check back a little later at 6 p.m. for more news update. For now, follow us across our social media platforms and visit our website, trusttv.com, for the latest. My name is Abdullahi Abba. Thank you for your time.